Joey Bailey with Essentially Spoiled. She is going to be telling us about different essential oils that you can use that can help with respiratory stuff. If you've got a cold or in general, if you just need some air, she's going to help you understand what essential oils and essential oil blends are great for those types of things. Make sure you stick around to the end because we will be giving away 4 of her aromatherapy bracelets. If you do win, make sure you stay to the very end so I can have make sure I have a correct mailing address for you. So we had 82 people registered for today. That's phenomenal. As always, if you would like to share this video with anyone, we will be posting it up on our YouTube channel later this week, early next week. That will be available there. So without further ado, I am going to mute everyone. So Joey, make sure you unmute yourself. That way Joey can be heard loud and clear without any issues. We will get started. I'm gonna put you, Joey, there you are. Feel free to share your screen. I'm muting now and just unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Perfect. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I am Joey Bailey. I have Essentially Spoiled, and we're going to talk together today about Blend to Breathe Better. So, the breathing oils that you would want to use in your aromatherapy, as well as how to blend them. Um, a little bit about me is that I actually went to school to be a registered radiation therapist. I worked with cancer patients for quite some time. And then I went on and got my certification as a clinical aromatherapist. I am also certified in palliative care aromatherapy and a certified dementia practitioner. So I work a lot in the senior industry and a member of the Dementia Friendly um, Coalition. One thing I hear a lot from people is that I tried this oil, it didn't work for me. I tried this blend. So, um, do essential oils really work? So, that's something that I get a lot from people. I find that when we use the right essential oil or we blend it with different things, then actually makes the oil stronger. So when you are wanting to get something that's going to work together, we kind of need to know, are we looking at the different chemistries of the plants where the essential oils are extracted? So essential oils are going to come from plants, roots, leaves, stems, flowers, petals, anywhere that we can extract some kind of oil from. So if we know kind of the chemistry behind those oils and we kind of know, are we looking for a floral or a woodsy or anything that is going to calm us, kind of peppermint, those types of things. So where do you need your support? Flower, floral type of oils are going to be for your skin. If you're looking at, if you're sick and you're trying to build immune systems, things like that, you're going to look at herbal oils. So anything that has herbs in it. Pain, you want to look at trees, and any kind of mood is citrus, like orange, different things like clary sage, those types of things that you're going to look at for mood. So, the 3 most common mistakes that I find with using essential oils that most people use, they just don't understand maybe some of the photosensitive oils that are photosensitive in the sun. A lot of your citrus oils, like your lemon, your lime, your oranges, all of those citrus oils are going to be photosensitive. So if you were to use those oils on your skin, um, you're going to, and go out into the sun, you're going to notice a skin breakdown. You're going to notice that you're going to have some kind of um, reaction. So you want to be careful with using the photosensitive oils in the sun. Another common mistake that's made is incorrect application of essential oils. A lot of people will put oils on. I don't know if you've heard of maybe using an oil neat. Um, Sorry, I am home alone and my dogs are here and they need to protect me.
That's
So,
so cute.
so but yeah, so getting back to using essential oils application. So neat would be that you're using an oil without a carrier oil. You're using that oil just directly on your skin. So if you grab an oil and you put it directly on your skin without any kind of lotion or coconut oil or what we call carrier oils, then it can do some damage. So you want to protect that. That is must try um, on a safety hazard piece of it. And then disregarding contraindications is another reason. So a lot of people just don't realize that oils are very strong and that they can contraindicate with a lot of medications. So there are oils that are anticoagulant medications. So you're going to want to make sure that you aren't using certain oils with any kind of blood pressure medications or um, anything like that. So those are types of oils that we want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves with. Safety is a big thing with me and all of my clients that I use when I do mention and we work with oils. Because oils are so powerful, it is so strong that in a one small bottle of rose oil, you're going to have over 10,000 rose petals that's going to make one drop of rose oil. So it takes a lot of different constituents that you're going to be using to make an oil. So that's why they're so very powerful. So that's why you want to always dilute an oil to prevent any of those reactions. A standard rule that I kind of follow by and that I've learned from different schooling and different education that we've taken is that you want to do 5% essential oil to 1% carrier oil. So you always want to make sure that you are using that carrier. And then ingesting rules. So when you go to ingest essential oils, I would want to make sure that your essential oil is pure, that it has been tested. And on the back of your oil bottles, when you buy them, it should show you if it's been tested and how pure it is. So when you're looking at your oils that you get, you want to make sure that you're not ingesting oils that you're putting internally into your body without any kind of dilution or any kind of protection, or you've talked to a professional about that. Another one is that I always suggest everybody to do a patch test. So what a patch test is, I will go through on the next slide and show you that.
Okay, so is it meant to
So,
still be on this main screen, Joey? Because it hasn't
nope.
changed at all.
Okay. Nope. We are supposed to be on
So
a
what we can
different
do, everyone,
screen.
afterwards is we'll make sure we email you the deck. Is that okay, Joey? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still on the very first page.
Ah, let me see. I have, oh yeah, it is saying sharing is paused. So let's see if I can. Now, can you see my screen?
I can see it. Yeah. If you do the view in the top, can you do it as the main top left next to where your Zoom other way, your other left? You see that view? Does it
Yep.
give you a slideshow option? Yeah, do slide only. There you go. That's
How about that?
better. And then
Let's
you
do
can
that.
go through it that way. Yep.
Okay. Let's see if I can go back.
Are you able to use sometimes if you use the arrows, it'll let you navigate through it. No.
Nope.
Try hitting play again and see if it.
Can you now see it
I
again
can.
or no?
It's it's um it's dim, but are you
Hmm.
okay? Just go back to your navigator and you can go through it that way. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So sorry.
That's
I love
okay.
technology.
Mm,
That's so weird how
mm,
it'll share this, but not when I go into
yeah.
navigate. Let's try to make it larger. Does that help? Is that better?
No, well, maybe a little. We'll have to see if it cuts off on any of the other slides. My concern is it's going to cut off. I mean, it's still a decent size on our screen. You have an Apple, and I apologize. I don't
Mm-hmm.
use Mac products, so I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Sorry. Well, it
No,
worked
that's
fine on
okay.
the last one. Darn. But yes, we can email these. We'll email these to you guys. Um, so as I was saying with the patch test, so a patch test is where you want to try it on your skin first. You're going to get a little area of your skin and you're going to test that oil on your skin first to make sure that you're not going to have a reaction. I'll show you how to do a patch test. Another safety is overuse. I see a lot of people that overuse their oils. They think the more is better when actually less is better with essential oils. You really want to use less oils than you really think. You want to be very careful with eyes. Never, ever, 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 ever do I use essential oils in the eye. So always be very careful when you get oils in your eyes. If any accidents do happen and you have got some oil, because I have had some people that have put peppermint on their cheeks and the peppermint will go up into their eyes and it burns and it's so strong. So don't use water to get that out. If you have any kind of coconut oil or almond oil, avocado oil, get some oil on a cotton swab and pat the outside of your eyes, and that will definitely take that burn and sting away from your eyes.
So real
Um,
quick, we do have a question. Someone
yeah,
said 5% oil, 1% carrier. What's the other 94%? Is that just supposed to be a 5-to-1 ratio?
it's a 5-to-1 ratio.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it.
it is. Yep. And then storage, you always want to make sure that you keep your oils in dark bottles, as well as you want to keep them tight and the lid closed. Some people, I suggest you can even put them in refrigerators. The more that light touches your oil and the more air that touches your oil, you're going to lose that efficacy of the oil. So you're going to lose that effect that you're trying to gain from those oils. Some carrier oils that we were talking about a while ago is like coconut oil, almond oil, jojoba oil. So any kind of oil that is a base type, then these oils can be mixed with any of your essential oils to help with your dilution. One thing that we did find, this is just a quick little did you know slide that I do. Research shows that 75% of emotions are triggered by smell. 40% improves our mood after being exposed to a pleasant scent. So if you're smelling down, you can smell lavender, lemon, peppermint, any kind of those citrus oils. Those are going to bring your mood up and it's going to make you happier. I'm waiting for us to figure out how to come out with a chocolate oil because chocolate's going to make me much happier.
I like that idea.
Yes, definitely. Um, this is a blending essential oils is all about inhaling. So inhaling your oils are going to make or they're going to change your emotions. They're either going to make you remember something. You're going to have likes and dislikes with a lot of your essential oils. So when you're making these blends or when you're trying to find something that's going to help you with breathing and stopped up and immune systems, you're going to want something that's going to be pleasing to your scent. So you're going to want to go through different oils that are going to help with those emotions and memories. I know we were talking about Bernie a while ago. I had to throw him in to my essential oils. So this is one thing. Can you guys see this slide? It looks like it's a little.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So how to find your perfect blend. I generally use a rule of thumb of 3 to 5 oils. So I use 3 to 5 oils when I'm looking at a blend, and I usually go off of a top note, a middle note, and a base note. Each oil is going to have a scent, which we call a note, and those notes are going to be stronger in certain top, middle, or base. So that's how you're going to know which oils that you want to use and which oils you want to put in first and which oils you want to put in the middle and then on the bottom. Storage is going to play a big part again. So you're going to want to make sure that you always use a dark colored bottle, amber bottles or blue bottles, things like that, so that it's not just a clear bottle, because that oil is going to be protected from any kind of light. And then your strongest scent is what's going to be your equal parts. So if you have a scent that is much stronger, like peppermint is much stronger than orange. So you would use peppermint. You're not going to use as much peppermint because it's going to be stronger than orange. You're going to use more orange in your blend than you would for peppermint. So patch test. This is what we were talking about earlier on how to do a patch test. You're going to wash your forearm, pat it dry, rub a few drops of your diluted oil on your arm. Make sure that you are using a carrier oil that we just talked about, and then cover it with gauze and maybe wait 24 hours and then remove that gauze to make sure that you're not going to have any kind of reaction to your oils. So if you're trying something new, this is a great way to kind of test and see if it's going to work best for you and your skin. Talking about those top notes, middle notes, and base notes, your top note is only going to need to be about 1 to 5% of your blend when you're blending these. And your middle note in body, that's going to be your biggest amount. So let's just say if we're using chamomile and lavender and orange. Lavender is not a whole lot, is not very strong. Orange has a little bit of strength, but your chamomile is going to be your strongest. So that's going to be your base, or your where you're only going to use about 10 to 15%. Your lavender is going to be your middle base, is going to be your middle. So that's going to be what's going to be the body of that blend, because you're going to want to use that lavender for calming effect. Chamomile is also going to be used as calming effect too. And then your top note is just your orange that's got that nice, calming, mood uplifting smell at the top of your blend. Now it's all going to mix together when you do blend these, and you're going to shake them up and mix them all together, but you're still going to get those nice aromas that are going to mix together when you're using this type of blending recipe.
So we did have someone ask Joey, how long do the
Yeah.
scents generally last?
So it depends. Each oil has a different shelf life. So it's going to depend on what oils you use. Typically, I say that your oils, once you've made them into a blend, are only going to last about 6 months to a year. I wouldn't use them any longer than a year. After a year, it's not that they're bad. It's not that you can't use them any longer. They would be more efficient as a cleaning oil, then you could use them to clean around the house. They're not going to do the therapeutic uses that you're looking for if you're looking for immune boosting, those types of things. Okay. Here's also a kind of a table for your essential oil blending, what gives you your top notes, your middle notes, and your base notes. So your top notes are going to be more your floral type of smells. Your middle notes are going to be your biggest heavy smells, and then your base notes are going to be like your woods and cloves and those types of things. Now, a lot of these oils can be middle/base or top/middle. They can be used as both. So you want to make sure that you're looking at each oil and how it can be used in multiple ways. 4 important factors that I use in considering essential oil application is dilution ratio, making sure, are you going to use it daily? Are you just going to use it as needed? Checking all of the different guidelines on any kind of medications that you're using, drug interactions, those types of things that you definitely want to be careful of. So those are your oils. Use of blends. So this is the way that I typically work with a lot of my clients. If you're looking for emotion, want inhaling, diffusing, you can use, there's a lot of different diffusers that you can use. This is a picture of how a diffuser works. This is one of the diffusers that I have, that you put a cotton stick in. It goes into a glass container and then goes, and you can carry it with you and smell as needed. So that is something that you would be able to use for personal use, instead of having to put it into a diffuser that's going in the house all over everyone. Physical support would be like for pain or anything that you're having arthritis types of things. You could use a roller bottle massage in your bath. Um, my husband has really bad indigestion, so he uses a roller bottle on his stomach when he has the indigestion. So there is some internal things that you can use roller bottles and stuff for as well.
Now, let me ask a question.
Yeah,
If you're using the oils in a bath, do you still need to cut it with a carrier oil, or are you able just to drop directly into the water?
that's a good question. You can drop directly into water with a bath because your bath is going to be a lot of water.
Right.
So your oil and water typically don't mix. So you're mainly using that. I would I would say that you're going to get your better results if you use it in like a bath bomb,
Hmm.
because then it's going to be able to mix a little bit better in your bath. But you can drop just the direct oil into your bath water
Okay.
and it should
We
not hurt.
we have a bunch of people asking about what's good for certain things. I'll hold those to the end.
Okay,
So go on. Thanks.
we're almost done. Yes. Um, know before you go, you're going to want to know who you're making it for, what type of blend are we making it for, when are you going to use it, where are you going to use it, why are we using aromatherapy, and how are we going to use aromatherapy. A lot of times, too, you can also do body butters where you can put oils in as a body butter and make a chest rub. Those types of things are really well done for immune systems and breathing too. Um, Formulating the right ratio, like we talked about a while ago, I always look at 100 drops and then go from there when I'm doing my ratios because it's easier for me to calculate. If I know that I'm doing 100 drops to make a blend for someone and they only need a 10 ml bottle, which would be kind of this size of bottle that you typically see for a roller bottle, then I can back that out a little bit easier using going with your tens, calculating or multiplying by tens for percentage. But like I said earlier, there's no right or wrong way to make a blend. If you mess up, you can make it into a cleaning formula. It just doesn't mean that you have to use it as a therapeutic blend. It can be used still for cleaning around the house and different things like that. So it's not that you have to throw out your oils. Definitely, you can still use those oils for all kinds of fun stuff. Um, this is a dilution ratio chart, so I'll make sure that you guys all get this. This goes in with how to dilute variances. You want to look at weight, skin sensitivity, health issues, medications, other oils that you're using in there, and then the length of use, how long you're going to be using this blend that you're using. So, certain types of oils you don't want to use on anyone under the age of 2, but then there's also a lot of oils that we're very careful with as our skin starts to age and we get thinner skin. Then I really pay attention to a lot of those stronger oils and making sure that they're not going to harm any of our skin tissue because I know like my skin is already starting to thin, and so we're needing to use a little bit more of the dilution in the carrier oil. So this is kind of a chart that that I go by, and I'll share this with you guys. Steps to blending. This is how I typically blend. As I reflect on the scents that I like, I will use a cotton ball, or I really, really like to use a toothpick, because a toothpick is going to absorb a lot of those oils together on it, so I can smell what my blend is going to smell like. And if it's going to be strong enough for my respiratory, if it's going to be strong enough for emotional, or whatever that is. I let it set. And evaporate and let it go for about 10 to 30 minutes, so that I can take note of what all um, the smell is going to be. I also
Hmm.
take physical notes. So I make sure I write down if I put 1 peppermint drop to 2 orange drops to 3 chamomile drops, so that then I can come back and I can smell again and say, I smell more chamomile than I do peppermint or orange. So I want to add a little bit more peppermint. And so those types of things. So I'll keep those notes handy so that I can make those blends the way that I want them to smell. And then you just continue to repeat those steps 1 through 4. Use it on the same cotton ball or the same toothpick, so that you can decide what you're looking for. If you're looking for a diffuser blend, you're going to make a blend that you want to put in a diffuser every time. I suggest that you make it into a bottle, so that you're not just dropping oils in your diffuser and then you've dropped now too many oils and now you have so much oils that are coming out of your diffuser. I would suggest that you at least make a little bit into another bottle, and then you can smell what that's going to smell like before you put it in to your diffuser. It kind of helps with that. And then just remember, it's not a race. We don't have to make these blends really fast. Take your time. Do it as long as you need. Work with different oils. Have fun with them. Enjoy the scents that you have. These next few slides hopefully will help some of these questions that you were getting. So I do have some recipes that I've put together. This is kind of a sinus balm that you would have 2 drops of oregano, 2 drops of melaleuca, 2 drops of peppermint, and 2 drops of lemon. Add to some steaming hot water, and then you can inhale in like a hot coffee cup or something like that. So you want to warm your water up first and then drop all of those drops into that coffee cup. And that is a great breathing, opening up the respiratory and your sinuses in your head if you're having any kind of those. A Breathe Better blend that I have is a congestion recipe for diffuser. So this one is going to be for a diffuser that I have, that you would have on your stand, on your nightstand, next to your bed, in your living room, anywhere that you have open air. And it's 3 drops of eucalyptus, 2 drops of lemon, 1 drop of sandalwood. I always suggest that you only diffuse 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and then turn the diffuser off for 10 minutes or longer. You can do that as many times as you want, but if you diffuse longer than 30 minutes, our limbic system is going to get overwhelmed, and it's not going to be doing the effect that it was created to do. It's just going to get used to that smell. It's kind of like when you're in your own house, you have a specific smell, and you always remember that smell until you leave and you go on a trip and you come back, or until you have visitors that come in and they smell those different scents that we all have. A congestion chest rub. This is one that, like I was talking about, that you could use with a body butter or a lotion. It's 1 ounce of a squeezable bottle, which is going to be kind of like a bottle like this, and you would fill it up to the carrier oil up to the shoulder of this bottle, and then you're going to add your drops of essential oils, which is the 12 drops eucalyptus, 10 drops lemon, 8 drops of sandalwood. And then you're able to use that lotion on your chest just like you would for any other kind of oil that you would need. A Breathe Better inhaler. This is one of the inhalers that I was talking about, that you can just add the oils directly to the cotton swab. So you don't have to have a carrier oil in your inhaler, because you're not putting it on your skin. You're not getting it anywhere close to your skin. You're just going to be doing an inhale. So this one is the 7 drops of pine, 5 drops of orange, 3 drops of cedarwood, and you'll take 1 to 3 deep breaths when using it, and you can carry it and use it as often as you like. This next slide is just a little bit about reflexology chart. It's kind of some different points on your feet that you can use so that if you have a headache, you can always put some peppermint oil with some almond oil or coconut oil on your toes, and it'll help with your headache. If you have any kind of sinuses, you can also do that as well. My kids have had quite a bit of sinus infections. My oldest daughter, my 26-year-old, had COVID and was using peppermint on her toes and was able to breathe much better. So it improved her breathing technique with all of that. So these are some of the different points of your feet that you would be able to apply some of those oils to help with some different techniques. And that is it. So this is just information intended for educational purposes. If you have any questions, I'm always available. And I know that Zoe has my phone number, and we will be able to provide a free consultation. So anything that you guys need, I love to help talk through it, see what all you guys are needing help with.
Fantastic. All right, let me stop your share. I'm gonna share the screen with you here so we can be
Okay.
side by side. We have some questions, but first I have stories. So the scent with memories is so true because I hate lavender. It does not calm me. But here's
Yeah.
why it does not calm me. I was doing research when I was pregnant with my daughter 20 years ago about, what are things that I can do to help relax me when I'm in labor. And I read lavender, lavender, lavender. Yeah, I had a lavender pillow around my head. No, I got angry at it and I threw it across the room. But now I don't like lavender, which I find is humorous because it is a scent that I would enjoy normally, but I think my brain triggers that emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
I one of the ways, so I used to make candles. One of the ways that I used to test my scents when I was mixing my oils is I would use a little shot glass, and I would put them in the little shot glass because your nose can get in there really good and you
Yes.
can swirl them around. But that was one of the ways that I would test my scents too.
And I do that. And then I put my peppermint or my toothpick
Yep.
in the shot glass. Yep.
Yep. All right. Okay. So here are the questions we have. What different types of oils do you recommend for arthritis?
Arthritis is more for pain, is more of your pain type oils.
Mhm.
So for pain oils, I would use any kind of like tree type oils. So cedarwood, sandalwood, those are really good. I have had really good results with frankincense
Mhm.
and cedarwood together and some patchouli. So just depending on what scents that they would like to be added to. And then we could add a floral if it's somebody that needs. I personally do not like the tree scents. I have to add a floral to all of my scents.
I'm a tree person.
Yes. And I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So someone asked what blend is good for sleep?
There are many blends that are good for sleep. The crazy thing is that peppermint can be used 2 different ways. It just depends on how your body is going to react. It's just like grapefruit. Grapefruit is another one of those oils that can either help suppress appetite or increase appetite,
Hmm.
depending on how your body reacts with that oil. So,
Mhm.
peppermint is a good calming oil, usually for most people to be able to sleep. I personally like to use chamomile oil with a citrus oil added to it, of course. And then I will probably add a rose or some kind of floral that go with that.
Okay. So since we're on the topic of sleep, is it best to use a diffuser so that you have a continuous, or does it work better
So
topically on your skin?
for sleep, I would either use a diffuser next to
Okay.
your bed, but I would only put it on probably about 30 to 45 minutes before you go to bed. So when you lay down, so that it kind of calms you.
Hmm.
And if you have one that has a timer on them, I have many that I use that have timers and they will come back on in about an hour.
Hmm.
And then while you're sleeping, so it'll keep you asleep. Another good way to use them is to use a um, linen spray. So if you were to make it into a sprayer bottle, and then you spray it on your pillow, those are really good ways to use for sleep
Very
oils.
nice.
Yeah,
Very nice. I just had the funniest thought. I was like, I bet you Joey's house smells so good.
sometimes, yes. Well, my husband and I fight
Uh,
quite often because he's a tree guy and
ah,
a woodsy guy, and I'm a floral girl, and so yes, there's always that tug of war.
um, okay, so what is good for indigestion? Because you did bring up about your husband's indigestion. So we had someone actually ask about that.
So ginger is my
Mm,
favorite for indigestion. You can even actually take ginger, and if you put it with the almond oil, you put it straight into your belly button. It's an anti-constrictor, so it will take that indigestion away really quick. So that is a really good one.
I might have to try that one.
Hmm.
What about
It's great.
heartburn, since we're on the same topic? What's
I
great
know.
for heartburn?
Heartburn, orange. Orange is a really good one for heartburn. I know it's kind of weird. It's a citrus, but orange is one that kind of works that way too. So,
Good to know. That's the one
sometimes you
I
have to
always,
smell them though and kind of decide,
yeah,
does that give me more heartburn or does this? And
right,
you can kind of tell. Hmm.
right. Okay, this is a great question. So, someone asked, what if they're allergic to, and they know that they're allergic to something? So the example was pine and cedar. Are they still able to use those oils?
I would not use those oils. There are alternatives.
Okay.
So many alternatives that we can go to. So, yeah, if they have questions about that, I can get them a list of all the different alternative oils that they would be able to use.
Okay. Now, Suzanne Elliott, I have to say, darling, you were reading my mind because I was going to ask a similar question. So she asked about Vicks Vapor Rub, right? We all
Hmm.
grew up with that. It was my most
Yes,
favorite thing in the world when I was sick.
yes.
I'd get the old sock, we'd wrap it around my throat,
Right.
And so she asked if it's made with essential oils, um, but also so my question then, so it's not made with essential oils because I saw you shaking your head.
No, it's
Um,
not.
that recipe that you put up earlier, the chest rub, would that be a similar
That would be a
smell?
similar to Vicks.
Okay,
Yes,
fantastic. That sounds
definitely.
great. Man, I
Yeah,
was obsessed.
I used to love Vicks and I would use it on everything till I found all the chemicals that they add to it. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so okay, so Marilyn stated that she actually has a rosemary bush. Is there a way that she can utilize that herself?
You can. Yes. I have a lot of people that have lavender trees or lavender bushes, and it takes a lot to make
Mhm.
an oil. So she probably isn't going to make an oil, but you could definitely boil some water and put the rosemary in your water. You could actually even hang some twigs of rosemary in your shower, and the steam will extract some of the smell and oils out of the rosemary, and it's really very refreshing and very natural.
Great. Someone said they have a roller ball of tea tree oil. What
Oh,
is that good for?
oh my gosh, tea tree oil is my number one oil in my medicine cabinet. It can be used for so much. Tea tree oil can be used for immune boosting. It can be used for fever blisters. It can be used for cuts and bruises and burns. There's a lot that tea tree oil can be used for.
Okay, fantastic. And then Marilyn stated, and this kind of actually leads to a good question. She says she buys ginger chews eats them for seasick symptoms. So is ginger
Yep,
good for nausea if you're someone who
it is
suffers from?
100%.
Fantastic.
Yes. So it'll work for indigestion and nausea. So it's a great stomach oil.
Yeah, that is great. I love ginger too. So there we
Yes.
go. All right. So do we have any other questions from the group today? That was the last one that I had up there. Um, I was looking at your chart and I was thinking, ooh, this might blend good. This might blend good. I'm
I
such a
know.
fragrance. I'm a fragrance nut. I just
Yes.
love the smells of things. Um,
Yep.
all right. Choo. All right, Janice, I'm going to answer this question. I don't know where you can find the chews. But I know you can get ginger oil from Joey. The chews, I've seen them as candy, like in the store, at the grocery store, but I don't
Mhm.
know if that would have, I no, anyway, so that's my
I'm,
answer there. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Um, do you have to use a carrier oil for tea tree oil?
You don't have to. I suggest that you start out using a carrier oil and
Okay.
then you can kind of back off of it and do
Mm-hmm.
one of those patch tests
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that it's going to be okay with your skin and your system.
Right.
But that is one oil that you don't have to use a carrier oil with.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay,
Yeah,
and just so I'm not speaking out of line, you do offer ginger oil, correct?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes, I do.
Um, so someone said that they use eucalyptus for their bubble bath.
Hmm. So good.
Um, and then there were some suggestions of where to get ginger chew. Um, okay, so I think that hits all of our questions. So Joey's phone number is at the bottom of my screen here. She will uh send all of you the slideshow. She'll have your email addresses, so she'll send all of that out to you. And you have questions or you want to do that free consultation, just let her know. She'll schedule that with you. So you're gonna do 4 of your bracelets today,
I
right, Joey?
am. Yes.
So she has these great
So
little, and they're natural stones, right? So they
they are
help.
natural
Yeah.
lava stones.
Yep.
So you
So
can
they're,
drop the oils onto these, or a blend that you make onto these and then wear them. Yeah.
yep. And if you are a winner of one of those today, she will send that out to you, but it might be a great idea to call her and talk to her about what kind of blend or fragrances you might be interested in for whatever